Is your organization ready to take its first steps in social media? Or are you just rethinking your strategy? In this course, we will reveal 8 essential questions you should ask when developing a social media plan. My name is Maria Lazarte, and I'm ISO Social Media Manager. If there's one thing I have learned in this job, is that a strategy is never static. It grows with our experience and objectives. But here are the questions that we always ask to make sure that we're going in the right direction. First, ask, what's the point? Why do you want to be on social media? Is it because you want to create awareness about your brand? Or maybe just connect with customers? Whatever your reasons, what's truly important is that you have a clear picture of what these goals are before you get started. Another important question is, who are the people you want to talk to? How and when do they use social media? Many teenagers, for example, like to hang out in Tumblr, while LinkedIn is used mainly by professionals. In fact, there are many LinkedIn groups dedicated to specific standards. But before you rush to create that account, keep in mind that those same professionals are likely to spend much more time on Facebook than they do on LinkedIn. Which brings me to the next question. Which networks should you use? Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Medium. There's so many sites out there that being everywhere is impossible. Once you determine which networks your audience uses, choose the one that suits your business best. For example, if you are selling cars or fashion, then visual tools like Instagram or Pinterest are a great way to show off your product. Although it's not impossible for us in the standards world to tell our story with images, this may not be our first choice. The networks you choose will also be determined by the next question. How much time and resources do you have? Social media takes time, and the more time you invest, the better it will be. You also need content. Sharing is a great way of connecting, but it's the unique content that you create that gives people an important reason to follow you. Here, graphic designers and photographers can help your posts stand out from the crowd. Make sure that any content you share is social media friendly. That is, it's relatively easy and fast to understand, is attractive, and is valuable enough that it can compete with the million other posts your followers are looking at. So once you know how much time and resources you have, you can decide how many networks to target. My advice is, it's better to do less, but do it well. Start small. Maybe 1 hour a day focus on planning, posting, listening, responding, and take it from there. Another key question is, what's your brand personality? Social is about people, so get away from the overly corporate speech, or you're missing the point. You don't need to talk like a teenager either, YOLO. Think of your brand as having a personality and a role. Are you a friend, a teacher, a coach? At ISO, we opted for an approachable one to bring down the stereotype of the overly formal, serious standardizer. We're not a parent, but a friend who can recommend you good ideas and solutions. And we do so in plain, everyday language because we believe that the more people understand what we do and why it matters, the greater our impact. Now, once you establish your personality, don't forget to adopt a similar look and feel on your cover photos, avatars, biographies. We should always be up to date and clearly tell users what kind of group or page this is and why they should follow you. Now, a question that I often get is, when and how often should you post? Well, this depends on when your audience is online. Sites like Facebook will give you this kind of information, but you can also figure it out by the engagement you get. Try posting at different hours and see what works best. Remember, the social rush hour might not always be your best choice, as many other pages and your followers' friends will be posting at the same time, which might bring your story to the bottom. As for how often, don't post so rarely your audience forgets you exist. But if you post so much that your followers can't see anything else that interests them on their feed, well, they won't be happy. You need to find the right balance for each network. Posting more than once a day on Facebook, for example, might be borderline spam, but on Twitter, you can get away with several tweets a day. Now ask yourself, how are you engaging with your audience? Don't fall into the habit of simply broadcasting news. Build networks and communities. Follow interesting accounts. Listen to what people are saying and respond. Identify your influencers. That is, the big shots in your business who are already talking about what you do. Remember, it's not about increasing the number of followers, but getting the right people on board. If you have 1 million followers that ignore your posts, you're talking to yourself. But if you have 100 who actively engage with your content, you're reaching out to the people that matter to your business. Now don't forget to keep asking, how are you doing? Keep track of how people react to your post. What do they share, like, or comment on? Monitor your impact and use analytics to optimize your posts. There are plenty of good tools to help you out, including the basic statistics provided by the different networks. Try different types of content, experiment all the time, ask your audience what they would like to see, and remember to always put their needs first. Now this concludes the 8 questions you should always ask when preparing your social media strategy. They will remind you to determine your objectives, identify your audience, select the best network for your business. Make sure you have enough time and resources. Adopt a tone and a personality. Decide how often and when to post. Engage your audience and monitor your progress. Remember, every organization is different, so it's now up to you to find the answers.